Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's lair. I'm your host, Larry the Chupacabra. We're doing something I haven't done in a little while. We're checking out some mobile games on Android, and today we're going to start out by taking a look at some Metal Slug Attack. This is, yes, you thought right. It is the Metal Slug that you remember, the sort of arcadey, side-scrolling, up and down, sort of World War II themed arcade shooter that takes you through areas of Europe, and like, I don't know, probably the Philippines when we were fighting Japan, all around the world to fight basically a figmental version of Nazi Germany. And it's been turned into a game that could best be described as a base defense game. Not really a tower defense game, but I'll give you a good idea. And it's a game that gives you, like, it's kind of a time-killing mobile game that as you log in during the day, you get, you know, different in-game rewards, like in-game currency, either in supplies or badges, or premium stamp card things there. The, what are these called again? These yellow things. These are MSP. And then you can use them to upgrade your little army. And you can also use them to crank the mystery crank, which you can crank once a day for free, and win marvelous prizes. So let me do one free play. This is the crank that you pay in medals. And what did we win? Did we get bacon? We got an alien Mars mech. So that's actually kind of cool. That's very anime-y, too, that mech. Alright. Well, we'll check that guy out in a minute here, but before we get too far into here, I guess we might as well show you guys what this game is all about. So let's go into attack mode. That's the primary game mode, where you go around the world murdering people in their pants holes. And let's see, let's start out here at the top. And let's attack them. Can I select a soldier from somebody? I cannot. Alright, so basically, this is one of those games where you start out with a spawn point. Ours are these little tubes that you can see off to the side here. And as we go through the game, we build up some points slowly. Let me turn the auto button off. We build up points slowly so that we can spawn little soldiers. And they murder the other person's little pod base. And then some of them have active abilities that you can utilize. And you can, like, use a shotgun to blast them into smithereens, which is very, very handy. Like, there we go. Murder people. Spawn some more guys. Uh-oh. They're starting to get the upper hand on Larry. That's not very good. But basically, you just spawn wave after wave of attackers to try and murder their faces and get them out of here. And at any point, this game, if you get the right power-ups, could switch sides in the favor of the enemy. It's completely well, not completely random, but it's up in the air. It can really switch off at random. And then periodically you'll notice my little tank icon in the corner here is starting to light up. Pretty soon I can spawn a full metal panic sort of situation here. Oh, they spawned one on me actually. That's fine, I'll use mine to blow up some of their soldiers. And I'll let it go on auto so I can talk about it. So basically, this is a game where you have all the characters of Metal Slug, but they're used as just sort of almost like a pseudo tower defense game, where you gotta try and defeat the enemy who has access to the same pool of units, although some of these different areas that you can find yourself in... Uh-oh, we're actually getting beaten up here, that's not good. But some of these areas you can actually wind up in, like, fighting the mummies from Metal Slug. You can end up fighting the aliens, the Martian aliens. There's all sorts of stuff that you could end up going against. And I'm actually going to try this again on autopilot, just so I can keep talking about it. And really, this is a game that you can kind of set on autopilot. And you can play it on the bus on the way to work. You can play it on your lunch break. And the one thing that kind of always kills me about some of these games is that they always just seem like you can just... they play themselves. But there is some tactic to this game, like when you use your special abilities so that you get the most use out of them. Like, so you aim ahead of yourself so that you can kill as many enemies as possible. Actually, I'm gonna pause this and go back to the main menu. And the other component, aside from it playing itself and using basic tactics, is you can go back to base. Let me do that right now. Back to our little sort of hub in the middle of the Sahara Desert, I would imagine, or maybe India. And you can go to, where is it? It is in here somewhere. Here we go, the build-up tab, where you can build up your forces, and you can actually customize your deck of units, kind of treats them like a deck of cards, so that you can add things like this really cool murder robot. Look at that guy! Look how big that tank is. It's a Martian doomsday mech. And then I can even go into these individual guys, if I go back here to customize unit, and I can upgrade them. So most of what you can upgrade right off the bat are just some of their more basic stats, but you can upgrade and get them more weapons here in the skills tree if you go and do special missions. Or if you get special drops from your other missions. And they're not too bad. You can equip these guys and gals with all sorts of stuff. And these little items you can get will actually increase their stats to some extent. So now this girl has got like a radish and some shoes and a snake. And these give her all sorts of powers, like here's a handgun. But if I didn't have some of these upgrades, like if you can see over here, there's these little standard whatchamacallits in the side. These take me to specific areas on the map where I can farm in order to get the materials necessary to craft new items and gear for my characters. And this is really a game it's not quite as linear. It looks linear, but it's a game that can very quickly ramp up in difficulty to the point where you've got to start farming some of this stuff in order to get better gear and all of that stuff. So now that I've kind of upgraded my characters a little bit, let's see what this mission's gonna look like. I'll leave it on autopilot. And there are a couple of, usually in these missions, there's a couple of those POWs that give you stuff hiding in the background. And those are, you get those out by using your specials, and they will spawn the little critters, those little POWs. If you hit the right spot in the screen, they're usually pretty forgiving. I've almost never had trouble getting some of those units. But here, this one, I've already pretty much beaten the pants off of, so that one was pretty easy. But that other battlefield that you saw on the map, it was captured by somebody, so it's actually quite a bit more powerful than it was before when I first played through here. So you'll notice these other two here, near my little yellow dot where my finger is. This is actually the mission that you start out on in this game, the first level on the first mission. And this has been recaptured by the enemy. So we have to go and we have to assault it in order to do all the stuff with the things. Let's see here. I'm gonna buy an upgrade to make this a little bit easier. You can use your medals that you get, your special achievement medals from ranking really well in some of these missions, to try and make this a little bit easier for myself. So let's see if we can win it this time. And then we'll show you guys a boss. Because the bosses in this game are really fun. I mean, they're not quite as challenging as you might imagine them to be, but they are as crazy and loopy as they are in the primary Metal Slug game. They're all about crazy German war machine technology that is just absolutely bonkers. Just completely titty bonkers crazy. And some of the other characters, we have all the main characters that you can play in here, like the two males and the two women with their specialty, like shotguns or laser rifles. And then you've also got the Metal Slug, which I believe is based on a Sherman tank. And then you've got all these crazy, like, German tanks that shoot, like, cannonballs that explode on everything. And then you've got, like, crazy aliens, which I haven't seen a lot of crazy aliens, but I've seen a fair number of them. Now, while you're on this autopilot mode, you can manually activate these guys and gals' special abilities, because I'll tell you one thing, the computer is not very good at aiming those special abilities. The one downside I have for this game, one of the major ones, is it's almost always better to let this game play on autopilot, but again, it doesn't always feel as challenging. But that could also be a good thing for some folks out there who prefer to min-max the stats side of things so that they can maximize their character's effectiveness and not have to worry about all that other stuff. Let's see, I could have sworn... Okay, I've equipped one of my gas canisters for extra AP. Oh, that maximizes my maximum resource gather right off the bat in this game. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, that's gonna be really overpowered. Oh, don't you know it. Alright, so the general German soldiers, these blue guys here that are the cheapest soldiers, they like to lob grenades, and man, that was just a smash. A face-smashing event. Holy smokes. Wow, that was almost way too easy. Jesus. Jesus Louises. Okay. So let's see about doing a boss. You know, I don't feel like doing this area's boss. Let's see here. The area boss here, is this the... Yeah, this is the boss. Let's equip some more of that gas. I liked that gas a lot, actually. Okay, equip that gasoline. These are just power-ups that you can buy. I don't necessarily know that you can purchase those with premium currency, so I don't necessarily know that this game is terribly pay-to-win, but it did just come out, so it's entirely possible. These games are meant to be dollar makers. They really are. So, if we go all the way over here, I guess this isn't the boss phase that I thought it was. Let's just start spawning stuff, like these crazy Pants McGillicuddy characters. And I'll put this back on automatic so that my crazy monsters start spawning. And here you can see that crazy Nazi tank. Or pseudo-Nazis. They're not really Nazis in this game, but it's implied. This is all kind of like a mashup between World Wars I, II, and the Vietnam War era. Now look at that crazy alien we just got. Look at that guy. He shoots giant murder balls. Jelly blob balls. Oh, this is just heinous. Look at him. Look how spicy he is. That is just adorable, how murder that is. Alright, so that's not the boss I really wanted to show you guys, but let's go back. I believe the boss that I wanted is actually in the first zone. Some of these zones jump around a lot, and how difficult they can be. So let's jump back into here. And let's go here to this S-ranked boss battle. And let's start the mission. Now, the other thing you can do is you can use... Okay, here's the first boss. So this is a downed military plane. And this plane shoots laser beams. And it's actually kind of cute. So this is like, it's crash landed in the jungle, and whatever soldiers were inside of this amphibious plane have sort of built up like a little jungle city inside of here. And they've been living in there. But unfortunately, they still have their crazy bonkers weaponry that'll allow them to spawn in laser beams. And I don't know about you, but I don't like it when the laser beams shoot me in the face hole. I need my face hole to live. There it is, there's the laser beam. So that would look very familiar to the arcade game, and much like the arcade game, this game can jump in difficulty very quickly to the point where it's just beating you up pretty regularly and murdering your pants. So you have to go back like I did for this preview, and you have to do quite a bit of farming. Which is why I have S ranking on quite a few of these missions. So now that we've done some of the easier stuff, let's actually go back to my regular missions so that I can see which one I still need to do. I think I'm somewhere over in Egypt over here. Although it says I can go on missions in the middle of Asia. Alright, let's go to Asia and do some missions. Alright, the enemy has got some grenade guys, some German tanks that kind of looks like... Actually, it looks like more of an early Sherman tank than what we're using. Yeah, let's go for it. We can get some sweet upgrade materials from these guys, it looks like. So we're in some of the ruins of China, probably fighting against Japan, if we were in actual World War II. And all of the environments are pretty unique. They do a nice job of bringing out unique environments for each of the different areas. Like there's unique ones for Vietnam, Japan, Southeast Asia, Europe, Egypt. Although, as you might imagine, Egypt is a lot of mummies with weird mummy powers. But it's pretty cool. And they've also got crazy scientists, doctors. Uh-oh, here's that nasty tank. Is that supposed to be... That kind of looks like it might be trying to be a tiger tank. Tiger tanks, of course, being the really nasty, meaty tanks that the German army used a lot. Wow, that thing is nasty. Look at it. Look at him. Look at how ridiculous that guy is. Okay, we might be in for some trouble here. Unless we can get the upper hand on that tank. And I don't necessarily know how much health that stuff has. Just because it doesn't show a health bar, it just shows a cooldown bar based upon how long it has until its special recharges. As you can kind of see with these characters. Yeah, we might lose this one. This is right up there at the edge of when I should be doing my primary missions. That beat me up really good because those guys have a faster resource spawn rate. But I'm not going to do a rematch with that. I'm going to go back and we're going to go to Egypt. But first, I'm going to show you guys sort of how you get some different resources. It's going to look a lot like games like Clash of Clans on the homepage, because it's got little achievements that you can get every day. You know, you kill so many enemies with this unit and you get this achievement like clear a standard level on the world map 1 time, complete, and then try a mystery crank 1 time. And actually, I used to play this game when it was still in beta. So it's actually reset all of my my little daily things for me. So yeah, you can get extra experience this way, extra in-game currency, all sorts of stuff. And then we got an achievement for beating standard 2-1, and we got an extra little character repair. We got some extra medals. Gotta love those medals. And apparently that one doesn't want to complete for whatever reason. And I have messages. Why do I have the messages? Comeback reward. Oh, since I came back from the beta, I get extra rewards. The 5,000... Oh, the 500,000 download celebration reward. Oh, good that they give you stuff when they celebrate. Alright, so basically you just kind of do all these little things and you get stuff, and then you can go on special ops to get special things. Different people can raid your base for your to try and steal resources, and then you can go and attack them. One of the downsides, though, is you have a limited number of resources here at the top. So if you play this game a lot, you're gonna have to either buy more time with in-game currency, not necessarily premium currency, but you can, or you'll have to level up in order to reset this number of raids you can do every day before you can do more, or else you'll have to wait 24 hours. And then there's a bunch of other game modes that are specialty challenges. So there's all sorts of stuff to do, but I'm gonna go back here to my main missions, and I'm gonna go back to Egypt. And we're gonna murder some people in Egypt, because that's where I was when I quit before. What is this one? This is the boss, I believe. Yeah, let's attack these guys. So if I were to hit raid right now, all the raid does is, by the numbers, it tells you if you got anything if you attacked this thing. So you can kind of get a couple resources that way without actually fighting. But that's not nearly as much fun as actually turning off the autopilot and then just spawning stuff. So, I mean, Metal Slug Attack, it's not a bad game. It's definitely not a Metal Slug game, like your standard, typical Metal Slug game. It's a game that's about, you know, being on a mobile device. It doesn't have that side-scrolling arcade action. It's a base defender where you send out waves of minions to do your bidding, and it's got an automated button that you can use to spawn stuff. And it can be kind of challenging depending on how you roll, but I definitely like it. I certainly do. Except for these bats that are cheaters. Flicking cheaty bats. Look at you, being cheaters. Cheaters, pumpkin eaters. But I kind of like it. It's not a bad game. It's just it requires farming. It requires grinding for resources. And that's not always at the top of everyone's to-do list. It's really not. But I do like how all the characters have their own unique abilities. They have their own specialty powers. It's good stuff, it really is. So I'm gonna actually let my autopilot go for broke here, because it's better than me. In fact, I might have to restart this, but overall, I'd say Metal Slug is worth taking a look at. It doesn't shove premium content down your throat. It doesn't shove ads down your throat. It doesn't really shove anything down your throat. It's just a very watered down Metal Slug experience if you really wanted another Metal Slug game. So I kind of like it, but that's up to you guys at home. So that's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty decent game. It's done by the SNK Interactive Group, who licensed the game to turn into this. So I don't know if that tells you anything, but it's not a bad game either or. So, toodles everybody, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. This has been Metal Slug Attack, and I'll catch you guys and gals next time. Have a good one, everybody.